Good evening. This is Ed Boquillan, Superintendent of Minuteman Regional Vocational Technical High School, sharing with you a presentation on our FY21 budget proposal. This year, the theme has been managing our success, and you'll see why. We've fulfilled many expectations over the last few years, not the least of which is achieving a new regional agreement. Although that was passed back in 2016, that effort began in 2010. We also had a state-approved capital fee instituted, which was a great concern to our member towns that, given the large number of non-member students attending Minuteman, their towns were under no obligation to participate in the expense of the new school. That was resolved with the capital fee that we have now been collecting over the last year, and you'll see in the revenue plan is being applied to reduce your assessments in FY21. Our new building, which we've been in since September and we had to leave in March, is a year ahead of schedule and on budget. Increased enrollment from our member towns has resulted in nearly all of our incoming freshmen from our 9 remaining member towns. This has been a long-term concern of our member districts. We are now in a situation where our enrollment for this fall of 2020 actually exceeds the design enrollment of the building. You can see our overall enrollment from this slide has gone up steadily over the last few years, and the lighter blue line, which represents our non-member communities, has steadily gone down. We expect this trend to continue. Our budget for the coming year is $21,500,000, an increase of almost 10% over the FY20 budget. But you'll see why in the revenue plan that sounds higher than it really is. We're trying to prepare for this COVID environment of fiscal constraints over the next year or two, and we've created an opportunity for the district to increase its E&D without increasing assessments to our member towns. The building project debt service, which is hitting close to its maximum level, is $4.5 million. That's up almost 40% over last year. The debt in Acton is excluded. Our major budget drivers as this was developed has been technology, transportation, athletic services. As we have no home fields and no athletic fields, we're having to pay for transportation and field rental costs. We anticipate that that will end in the next 12 months as our new athletic facilities come online. And you can see the debt service drivers as well. The departure of Belmont, which voted 3 years ago to become a non-member effective July 1, has cost the town about $150,000 from that exit alone. The Acton preliminary assessment is $1.7 million, and these are the components of it, including the debt in the 1.7, although the debt has been excluded by a previous vote of the town. The increase over last year is about $277,000. You can see there was a decrease in the components of transportation and capital debt. That is our existing debt. Full enrollment is here at Minuteman, and that's a new normal, although that's a word we hear too often in this COVID environment. We have full enrollment. We have waiting lists for member students interested in coming to Minuteman. In a few years, we expect to have no out-of-district students at all. Therefore, our revenue that we've been enjoying from non-member communities will eventually go away, as well as the capital fee. We worked many years to have the capital fee instituted, assuming that there would be a consistent high enrollment of non-members. But what has happened is that the Minuteman story has been told and has increased the interest and the perceptions of parents of attending a high quality career in technical education for their kids. You can see enrollment over the last few years. The yellow refers to an in-district enrollment at that time. The green is in-district enrollment for the last 4 years, and the gray, the upper lighter gray on the right, is what we're projecting for enrollment for next year, about 650 students. You can see of that 650, about 484 students are from our member towns. That's the highest number of member town students attending Minuteman in close to 15 years. Acton, we had a lot of interest from Acton in terms of 8th grade applications. 36 applied, 29 were offered admission. As of a few weeks ago, well, actually a month ago now, 25 of those students have committed, and we're going to have a total enrollment in Minuteman next year, we're projecting, of 55 to 58 students from Acton. Our budget history over the last few years, you can see in FY 18 and 19, over those 2 years, we reduced our budget by almost $2 million, 6.5% and almost 5% respectively, in an effort to right-size the school as enrollment was declining. Now, as enrollment is increasing, we need to right-size again, but we certainly need to do it over time and not do it all in 1 year. The revenue plan shows, hopefully you can read this. It's pretty small for me. Showing our capital budget, where we are applying capital fees to reduce assessments in FY 21. Also where we're applying our certified excess and deficiency. That's sort of our free cash. You know from being involved in another regional school what excess and deficiency accounts are. So assessments have gone up about 9.3% overall. I wanted to take a few minutes and describe our plans for opening school in the fall under a COVID environment. As we speak today on June 24th, we have been working on a plan for the last several weeks that would allow Minuteman to open in a safe environment at a reduced capacity with appropriate social distancing and all the adequate PPE in place. We are going to be having a hybrid model of on-site learning as well as remote learning. We're terming it week on, week off, half day, every day. If you think about career and technical education, it simply cannot be done remotely. So we are looking at a format of our students that would include 9th graders and 11th graders being on site, but half of the day they would be participating in academics, and then the other half of the day they would be in career and technical programming. So the 9th graders would all be in academics in the morning while the juniors are in shop. And then after lunch, we would swap that. We're changing our schedule to be an 8-period day from its current 7, so that we can provide supportive learning environments and supporting services for students who are on IEPs within that half-day academic model. And the following week, when those juniors and freshmen are at home, they'd be participating in remote learning, again, academics every day, particularly math and English. And we're providing an extensive amount of reading support, which we've done for 10 years. And that remote learning week is going to be much more structured than it has been over this last 3 months. We've invoked some different protocols when it comes to cleaning the building. We had hired an outside cleaning service last year, and they're going to be putting in more hours. On the transportation side, we're looking at limiting students to 23 to 30 students per bus. Under the current guidelines, that's what we're assuming. So we feel very confident we're going to be able to offer a combination of hybrid learning that's going to keep students gaining proficiency in competency in their career and technical programs while maintaining rigorous academics. It's a lot of challenges going forward, without a doubt. And is it the best for the students? Absolutely not. the best thing is for them to be here full-time with their teachers in a brand new school building that serves their education and their programming well. We've got a great relationship with the Teachers Association. They've worked with us to develop this plan. We believe at this point it complies with all the current guidelines and is flexible enough to allow us to pivot if we have to close and go to a full-time remote learning model should infections rise. Happy to answer any questions about our half day, every other week model of delivering CTE. And that concludes our budget proposal. I appreciate the support of Acton, and I look forward to being with you on Monday, the 29th of June. Thank you.